In today's video, I have a few of my favorite eyeliner hacks that are perfect for beginners. They are so easy and they are great for mature eyelids, hooded eyelids, textured eyelids, and small eyes. Let's get started. So one of my favorite hacks is so easy. It's perfect for beginners, but it's also really great for mature eyelids, textured eyelids, or hooded eyelids because it gives a very soft eyeliner effect. It still defines the lashes and adds some definition to the lash line, but it doesn't look harsh or heavy, which is very, very important. So all you're gonna need is an eyeliner pencil, something soft like a kohl pencil, and a cream shadow stick. Now, I happen to have this product right here, which is perfect, and I would highly recommend this product to a beginner. This is the Tarte Quick Stick, and what this is it's both. It's a liner on one side, and then you have a cream shadow stick on the other. So this has everything that you need. All you're gonna do is you're gonna go in and line your eyes first. Now, I'm gonna zoom you guys in here so you can really see what I'm doing. I don't have anything else on the eye right now. You could put a little eye primer if you want, like perhaps something like the Milk Makeup Translucent Eye Primer if you have really oily eyelids, or maybe a MAC paint pot, but you don't want to do anything with too much color. So if you go the paint pot route, make sure you're using something like Soft Ochre or Painterly. I'll put some images here for you guys. Something that is pretty light, neutral, and doesn't compete with the shade that you're going to be using in the cream shadow stick. Now, the eyeliner on this particular one, by the way, this one is the Taupe Luster in black. So the liner is black, the cream shadow is Taupe Luster. Now you want an eye pencil that's really soft. So when you go to apply it on the skin, there should be no friction. You shouldn't have to like put a lot of pressure to get the pigment to deposit onto the skin. It should be like, wow, right there. It should be very soft, very creamy. Now, you're gonna line the eye. I always recommend like starting in the center of the lash line just to get going and kind of work your way out. And the reason that I always like to start in the center is because you're just starting this eyeliner and you're getting comfortable with the motion of creating this line. Where you don't want to get too heavy is the inner corner. You really want to keep this very thin, light. The beauty of this trick though is it does not have to be perfect, you guys. And you can really get a sense for that by the way that I'm doing it. You can probably see that this is not a perfect line because what you're going to do is you are going to take your brush. You want to have a little small smudger brush. This is the Nikki LaRose BK Beauty N12. This one is really great. And I'm gonna go over this line before it has time to dry down and set. While it's still creamy, that's very, very important, is to work with it before it has time to dry and set. And I'm just gonna kind of smudge and like smudge this out. And again, you don't have to be perfect here either. So you can see how that just creates a bit more of a seamless line. So if you kind of messed up anywhere, doing this is just gonna kind of smudge it out. Now it is going to make it thicker, right? So now we have a thicker, heavier line on the eye, which we want to go back and soften. So then you're going to go in with the cream shadow side of the product, and you're just going to kind of run it directly on top of that eyeliner and then work it into the lid. So what you're doing is you are cutting that black liner down significantly, right? To get a much softer look. Now, when you look at the eye, you're not necessarily seeing eyeliner, but you are seeing a darkness at the root of the lashes, which is going to give the same benefit as eyeliner gives, which is to define the lash line. So now I'm just taking a clean eyeshadow brush. This is the Angie Hot and Flashy BK Beauty A501, and I'm just kind of working this to sheer out that cream shadow. Now, do you see that? Do you see how you still see the definition of the eyeliner, but it's very soft? You can't really see where the eyeliner stops. It just looks very beautiful, very sultry, and very soft, but very defined. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here so you guys can compare how this looks to the next little hack that I'm gonna share with you, which is kind of similar and gives a similar look, but it's slightly different. So if you like the look of this, but you wanna apply your liner after shadow, so you have just a little bit more definition, we're gonna first go in with a cream shadow in a pot. Now you can use the MAC paint pots. This one is one of my favorite, and it's from Revlon. This is the shade Caramel 710, and this is the Revlon Color Stay Cream Shadows. These are really, really nice. You can use your finger to apply this. I'm going to go in with the BK Beauty A501. I'm just going to really work the product into the brush. And we're going to apply this all over the lid. Now, for this particular hack, it is important that you pick a shade of cream shadow that is not too light. So you don't want anything that's like bone or white or vanilla. You want it to be like your skin tone color, slightly darker, because what it's gonna do, and not that you can't use a light color, you can certainly use a light color, it's just gonna be a different look, right? So the particular tip that I'm sharing with you requires a shadow that is kind of more of this medium tone shade. And this one's really beautiful. I'm gonna zoom in here so you can really see how pretty this color is. It's just gorgeous. It's just this perfect mid-tone caramel bronzy shade. It's stunning. It just melds with the skin, so nice and so beautiful. It does have some shimmer to it, but it's a very beautiful, flattering shimmer. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with my pencil, and I'm still using a very creamy eyeliner kohl pencil. This one is from Trish McAvoy. This is the shade Deep Aubergine. So this isn't quite a black, but it's a really rich, deep brown. Pretty much like a dark coffee cocoa brown. So I'm gonna go in with this. I am gonna go ahead and sharpen this so I have a nice point to it. It's really important that I have a nice point to this eyeliner because it's gonna just help me get a cleaner line with this. So now you can see I have a nice pointy tip to this liner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the liner on its side. I'm not going to go in with the point, but I'm going to lay it on its side. That gives me a little more control. I'm going to start on the outer half of my lash line just like I did in the first hack. I'm going to start on the outer half. Again, I just like to start here because it allows me to get comfortable with creating that line. And if I am going to get a little too thick, I'd prefer it to be out here than in the inner corner. This is one of my favorite eyeliner formulas. It's so nice and creamy, and I'm just laying it on its side. I'm actually just kind of laying on its side and pressing it into the lash line. This pencil is so pigmented and creamy that you don't really have to put any pressure. You can just kind of lay it and press it. Now, I'm not gonna follow my line all the way down. I'm not gonna follow my lash line because my lash line curves down. I wanna kind of give a little bit of a lift and elongate the eye. So once I get to right here before my lash line starts to go downward, I'm gonna make that line a little thicker right there. It's gonna be messy, it's not necessarily gonna be cute, but I'm gonna make it a little thicker so I have some product there. Then I'm gonna go in with this guy. This is the BK Beauty 208 brush, and this is a must-have. It's a must-have brush. It really, truly is, because it makes winged liner just so easy. Now, I'm not talking about big, dramatic, graphic wing liner. This is really that baby wing that I call it. It's just like that perfect, subtle little wing that lifts the eye, elongates the eye. I'm literally just running this brush directly on top of that liner to clean up the line, make the line very nice and consistent. And when I get out here to where I want to wing it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of look straight ahead. I'm not tilting my head back. I'm not looking down. I'm just kind of looking straight ahead so I can see how my natural eye shape falls. And then I'm just going to pull out with this brush to create that wing liner. This brush is so fine and so tiny that you get the perfect wing. Another trick that you can do with this brush is you can actually just take this brush and you can go directly to the eyeliner. So if you prefer to do it this way and then go and create the line, you can do that as well. I find it a little bit easier to put the pencil on the eye. You just get a little bit more payoff. And this little trick is so easy that it's really hard to go wrong. Perfect. So here are the two different eyeliner hacks. They're both easy, they're really great for beginners, and while they're similar, there's a different look. You get a little bit more definition and lift with this baby wing hack that I call it, and then you get a little bit of a softer, kind of smudgier, smokier look by going with the eye kohl pencil before the cream liner. Now I have one last hack for you, and I do want to give a little disclaimer here because those of you with sensitive eyes, dry eyes, you want to be cautious about how often you do this hack, and this may not even be for you. You may decide that I'm not going to do this, but tight lining the upper lash line. Now, it's not the best for our eyes, you guys. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. I actually have very dry and sensitive eyes, and I was talking to my eye doctor about why my eyes are so dry, and there's so many different factors, right? But one of the things that contributes to dry eyes is your oil glands in your waterline not producing oils, right? And what happens is those little oil glands can get blocked from pollution in the air, from makeup products, just from, a bunch of different things, but makeup is a big contributor. So keep that in mind when you do this technique. But the truth is that this technique just really does define the lash line so beautifully. When I have a special special event, I always do this. It also just darkens that water, that flesh color right underneath the lashes. So when you're wearing false lashes or you have really dark eyeliner, it just pulls the whole look together. And I'm laying the pencil on its side and I'm just running it all the way from the inner corner all the way to the outer. You can also just tight line the inner corner if you prefer. Like if you don't want to have liner on the top because you have very small hooded eyes, and when you put liner right here on the top, it can kind of just take up all the real estate of your lid and you don't see any of your shadow. It can really be heavy and close the eye. But what you can do is you can go right in here with liner. And even if you just do that first like third of your waterline and then you line on the upper part on the other 2/3, that still looks really beautiful as well. Now when it comes to lower lash line, I strongly believe that a softer lower lash line is just more flattering. I truly, truly do. Regardless of your age or your eye shape, I also really believe that going with like a lighter bronze shade or a copper shade, or even like a light amethyst color or light sage or whatever, but just going with something with a little pearlescent to it, a little slight metallic finish is really nice. And the reason why is because that shimmer reflects light, so it just gives a softer look than like a matte pencil. Now this is from Smashbox. This is the shade Penny Lane, and this is such a beautiful brown shade with a little tiny flecks of like penny copper colored shimmer to it. Not super metallic, but just a little bit. And what I love about these pencils is that they're called the Always Sharp line. It's because they are literally always sharp. There's a little sharpener in the cap here, so every time you twist and take the cap off, you're getting a very sharp, pointy tip. Now, I like to start at the outer corner of my lash line, and I will just line about halfway over, you guys. I really don't take liner over all the way in most times because I just like the way that it opens my eye up. I don't really have small eyes, but I don't have large eyes either, but I do like them to look open and wide-eyed, and by taking it all the way over can really close the eye off. Now, this looks a little harsh to me. Even though we just did brown, it still looks a little harsh to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and I'm going to soften and smudge this and use a little bit of a cream shadow to even like give it a softer, sultry, kind of diffused look. I'm going in with the BK Beauty 210 brush. This is my favorite pencil brush because it's nice and tiny, it has a nice point to it, but it's also soft, so it'll really sheer and blend out product. You can use a powder shadow here. I'm actually just gonna go in with this Revlon Caramel shade. It's really nice, and essentially what I'm doing is the same thing that we did on this side with that black liner and then going over it with the cream shadow. And I'm just gonna run this right on top of that pencil, so I just have a little bit of a softer look. Now sometimes I will take whatever shadow I'm using to soften and smudge it. Sometimes I will take that all the way over to the inner corner, because what that does is it keeps the intensity on the outer corner, which defines the eye, but it still kind of gives that really pretty, soft, diffuse, smoky look. So those are a few of my favorite easy eyeliner hacks. They're really great for beginners, but they're also great for hooded, mature, textured eyelids. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you learned anything, or if you're gonna pick up any of these tips or tricks or products, let me know down below. I will tag everything that I used. I will list it and link it in the description box. I'll also tag it on YouTube Shops, so you can shop it real easily through that platform. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.